Hi everybody, it's time for a product review. This time I'm going to be looking at the Mechi system by TableTop Tech. This isn't a sponsored review. They haven't paid me anything. They haven't sent me anything for free. This is entirely bought by my own money. I actually bought this at UK Games Expo back at the end of May, beginning of June. And I was there selling my own stuff, selling my Pick Your Path adventure books. Buy them, support the channel. And they were there selling this a couple of stands away. And I walked past it a few times and I really loved the concept. But I hadn't heard of the company before. It was shipping over from Australia, so the shipping was quite expensive. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But in the end, I thought, you know what, actually, this is something that I could get on board with that would really make what I do for my workshops a lot easier. And so I went ahead and bought it. They were just at the beginning of their production cycle, so it took a couple of months to arrive. It arrived a few weeks ago. I've put it through its paces now, and I'm ready to talk about it. So what is it? Well, this is the 8-module system, and it is a miniature carrying system, really, at the end of the day. There are lots of miniature carrying systems out there. I don't even know if that's the right term for them. I'm sure there's a better term for them. But I've tried lots of different ones. I've tried a while back. I kickstarted the Kickstarter for Modi boxes, which are these things, and they're cool. They're all right. It's okay, but it takes a lot of filament, it takes a lot of time, and I've never really sat down and just invested that kind of stuff to print it. It always felt a little bit flimsy when it was printed. I have tried magnets. Anyone who knows me knows that I absolutely love magnets. So I went through a phase, put the magnetic sheet in the really useful boxes, stuck a load of magnets on the bases of my figures, stuck them all down. Brilliant, it works. The problem is the magnets attract each other, I found. And I run a lot of workshops in schools. That's where I need to take my minis. I don't really go to other people's houses to play. I take the minis into schools. So I'm traveling all over the country taking them. And the magnets held absolutely fine. They were great. But when the kids started to play with them, or when I was using them to run D&D games here, if you put a clump of figures together, the magnets just all attracted and they all clumped together. And, I've got damaged figures down there where a magnet flew off the base of one figure and through the other figure as it attracted. It was great. I mean, I saw it happen and it was fantastic. It looked like something out of a film, but it left me with 2 damaged figures. And I don't want that. And also magnets in schools, if they fall off and they can get dangerous if one of the children swallow them. So there's issues with using magnets there. So I didn't love using magnets on the bases. So what I resorted to was one of the foam, the boxes with the foam inserts to shove the figures in. But they're not designed for figures, like for different size figures. So the swords would get snagged and the weapons would get snagged. So when I saw this, I thought, okay, this is a different approach. Whether it would work or not, I was skeptical because, like I said, never heard of the company before. It was new. So I thought, well, I'll take a punt. I'll order it because if this works, then taking figures to and from my workshops is going to be revolutionary. It's going to have a huge impact on what I do, but it's going to have a huge impact on what you do as well. If you're taking minis everywhere, then that's going to have a big thing. Then I found out that they're working with Duncan Rhodes Paint Academy, and I thought, okay, there's a big name behind them as well. So that was a good factor. But also it's got inserts that support the Duncan Rhodes Tooth and Coats paint, which I use a lot. I pretty much, other than the odd bit of contrast, I'm pretty much exclusively use the Tooth and Coats just because I really like them. They work really well. So I thought, well, if it can take my minis, it can take my paints, let's give it a go. So it arrived a couple of weeks ago, and so far I have taken it to a couple of workshops that I've run in schools. So I've packed up all the figures that I need to take, taken it away to the workshops. They've all arrived safely, I've come back and forth. I've just been on holiday to the Lake District. So I thought, well, okay, this is a great test, shoving it in the back of the car with a couple of suitcases, a load of kids' stuff, an inflatable canoe, all of this kind of stuff. Put it in the back, see if we get there. And I thought, well, I can do some painting on this. So I took some paints, took some brushes, all in here. I'll show you it all in a bit, don't worry. Took some unpainted minis, got to the Lake District. Absolutely everything was fine. Turns out I didn't have much time to paint, but I did get a little bit of painting done. But, turns out we wanted to do lots of walking instead. Who knew? So I did all of that. But the important thing was that the figures and everything got there safely, got back safely. It does its job. It does what it needs to do. So with that in mind, let's have a look at this I'm going to show you how it was packaged first, because I think that's really important. It's coming from Australia. Like I say, the shipping is expensive. It's about 30 something pounds, but Tabletop Tech do subsidise that, so it should be a lot more expensive. You will pay about 20 or 30 pounds for shipping to the UK, but it is coming from Australia and it's a heavy product and it's a well-made product. So I don't think that is extortion. I don't think that is bad, given what you would pay for shipping for other things, especially if you can be organised and you can order all of the different rack systems that you need in one go, so you can get them now. But I didn't. I made a mistake. Now, they worked with me. I was saying, can I have this, can I have that, can I have this? And they were really good. The fault lies entirely with me because I didn't actually go and measure the bases that I'd got. I thought I'd got loads of 32 mil, loads of 25 mil, a couple of 50 mil bases, and that was it. So I got a few of those slot things to go in here. And then when they arrived and I actually measured them, I've got loads of 32, I've got loads of 25, but I've also got some 28. I've also got some 38 mils. I've also got some 60 mils. So I'm going to go back and order those. But it would have been cheaper if I'd just dumped them on the main order right at the beginning and got all of that sorted. But the company have been absolutely brilliant to deal with as well. I will say that. So if you do have any issues, if you do have anything that you kind of like, oh, I'm not sure about this, speak to them. Helen, who I've been talking to there, has been absolutely fantastic, really helpful. So the company is definitely on the level, which is good, really helpful, really good customer service. They're working, like I say, with Duncan Rose. They've actually got a Kickstarter out at the minute for loads of new stuff that is coming. So I'll put the link for that in the description below. Definitely go and check it out. I know I'll be going and checking it out, and then when it goes live, I'll be backing it. Because a lot of the stuff they're talking about introducing is going to add so much more functionality to this. So there's talk about things like card holding things so that you can put your cards in there that you need to, different base sizes, things like that. So I'm going to talk to you about how it came delivered, how they packaged it, then we'll have a look inside, okay? So this isn't a proper unboxing because I've obviously unboxed it already so that I can use it and check that it works and things like that. But I wanted to show you how it came packaged, because I think if you're ordering something from the other side of the world, how they package and ship it is important. So this is kind of a pseudo unboxing. But this is what it arrived like in the post. It's a nice, sturdy, big box with a big lid on it. And it comes properly packaged inside. We've got a cardboard topper and then a nice collar around the box in there. So it is sturdy. It arrived completely undamaged and it comes out and it is ready to go. So no issues with the packaging, thing like that. So the packaging, absolutely solid. You're not going to get anything damaged in packaging, hopefully, unless they really throw it around in the delivery system. Nice and solid. Let's have a look inside as well. Okay, so let's have a look inside. Now, the thing is locked by these two dials here that just spin, and it is, once it's locked, it is not going anywhere. It's solid. So turn those, and it unlocks and opens out. Now, this is the 8-unit or the 8-module system. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different units there. You can obviously get extra units that you can slide in and out. I've got a 50mm unit here. This is the only model that I've actually got on a 50mm base at the moment, which is daft. Like I said, I thought I'd got some more 50mm, but they're actually 40 or 60. Didn't bother to measure. That's on me. But this can then slide in. I've got another 25mm as well. And the systems themselves are really, really simple. You lift up the lever and it releases the minis. So then you can take them out, pop them back in, push the lever down, and they're locked in place. Okay, so I can turn that and nothing is coming out. I've modified these slightly. So these are painting handles, and all I did for these was stick a 32mm base onto the bottom, and then they clip in absolutely fine. And I can take my painting handles with me when I go away, and they're locked in place. They're not going to go anywhere. They're not going to fall over everything, and I've got everything I need. This is a paint brush holder, nice and simple. They just slide in. They get stuck in the middle. I love this, but again, this can, if I get the right way, slide out, and you've got a different system in the middle. This is a tool that does something. I can't remember what it does. She did show me when they were showing me, but I haven't actually used it yet. So I'm not quite sure what that does, but it does do something. The fact that this just slides on there leads me to guess that maybe there'll be other things that we can put on there as well in the future. But I just love how simple everything is. Now, in these gaps, everything is it's a simple O-ring, a rubber O-ring. So if they ever degrade, they will just pop out and you can put a new one in, which I was really impressed with. It's non-destructive, so I don't need to stick magnets on. You can see some of these have still got magnets on from the last time when I tried to do it. It just didn't work. But you don't need to stick magnets on. You just plop them in, and the gap is perfect because it isn't too loose that it's going to be wobbly, but it's not too tight that I'm having to force things in and then try and really wiggle them out and break the legs as I pull them out. The 50mm one is slightly tighter. Now, I don't know if that's by design or if that is just my individual one that I got, but this is but also I'm not using Games Workshop 50mm bases. These are third-party 50mm bases, which may be slightly bigger. So I need to speak to them about that. But actually, it's not too tight, but it is a tighter fit. That's my only question about it. Everything else is a really, really nice fit. The 25mm ones over here, again, really nice. I mean, you can see as soon as it's open, they're just loose, which is what you need. As soon as you tighten it, they're not going anywhere. They're absolutely solid. They don't rotate. They don't move. They're not falling out. The same with the paint. These are not coming out. You lift up this, out they come, nice and easy. Absolutely solid. And that's what you need. There's nothing more to it really than that you need to do. When we close it up, you can see it's got a nice sound, hasn't it? It just clinks together. You can see that there are these screws here. So if we unscrew these, and what that allows you to do is this comes off, and that is how these just slide out, slide in one of the others, like that, put the end panel back on, and you're good to go. So it's nice and easy. You don't have to take the panels out to take your figures out. You just lift the lever up. But if you have got some of these that you want to swap in and out, if you go into a game, you just think, well, I can just leave the figures on there. Actually, I could take those out, put them somewhere like that. What I might do is 3D print kind of like a wall holder that I can just slot them into like that, or something like that, or a rack system. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing ideas. Just something that I could take them out, put them on, and I'll be good to go. But it works. It does what it needs to do. The 32mm bases, they hold 10 minis. The 25mm bases have got 12 on each. And then the other ones have got a variety of, I think the 40mm bases have got 4 on them. The 50mm bases have got 3. And variations in between. What I do like is that on the edge of all of them, hopefully that'll show up on camera yet, it tells you what size it is. And I know that seems fairly obvious, but for someone like me, the difference between the 28mm and the 32, as I've proven by not ordering the right things for myself, having this on the edge just makes it easy that I'm not trying to put the wrong figures into the wrong things. It just makes it easier to sort, easier to look after, and just makes the whole thing a much more pleasurable experience. So with all that said, would I recommend this? Would I buy it again? For what I need, absolutely. If you're carrying figures around with you, if you're going from home to somebody's house to play, you're going to Warhammer World, or you're going to a local games club or something like that, this is absolutely solid. I mean, these side panels are extruded aluminium, as far as I'm aware. I think that's what they said. They're definitely a metal. I'm sure they said they're extruded aluminium. You've got heavy-duty perspex on the top and here. You know, these clasps are rock solid. It's not going anywhere. The handle's not going anywhere. The slider things themselves are 3D printed, but the mechanism inside, from what she told me when I was talking to Helen on the stall, is carbon fiber rods inside. So they're solid. They're not going to break. And you know, it's solidly built. It's going to do what it's done. I've taken it to a couple of workshops so far. I've taken it up and down to the Lake District with me, and it's been thrown around in the car on the way to the Lake District because it was being dumped around with suitcases and everything else, and nothing has shifted inside of it. And that's pretty much all you need from it, isn't it? You want to know that your figures in there are going to be safe, any paints you've put in there are going to be safe. If you've modified the painting handles like I have and put them in there, are they going to stay in place? I must admit, I was slightly concerned when I got to the Lake District that those paint handles would have come off or would have come out because of the weight and the pivot point of them, and they would have just absolutely wiped out the figures that I put in there. But they didn't. They held absolutely firm, and so I don't really know what else you want from a miniature carrying system. I would definitely recommend it. I'd buy it. I'd have a look on the website. I'll put the link below. Check out the Kickstarter. Have a look at price up everything that you want so that the postage is less of an issue. You know, this, I think the actual unit itself was about £90, I think, 85, £90, something like that for the 8-module unit. Have a look on the website. So if I'm paying 85, let's say £90 for the unit, each of these sliders, you get the 8 sliders with it. So if you're buying the 8-slide one, you get 8 sliders with it. So they're all included in the price. But if you want extra ones, they're about £6 each. So let's say I wanted to double that. I wanted another 8 that I could swap in and out. So that'd be about, I don't know, 48. Let's say another £50. So if I'm spending £90, £50, £140, and then I've got to pay £30 shipping, it's not a huge cost on top of everything, considering it's subsidised, considering it's coming all the way from Australia. Considering all of the positives to do with it. And like I say, other than the slightly tight fit in the 50mm base, there haven't been any negatives that I've found so far. Everything works, nothing's broken. Nothing's, that's just a little bit stiff, or I wish that was a little bit different. It works, so that's really good. So yeah, I would recommend it. I'll be back in the Kickstarter if when it goes live. I'll be looking at what extra bits I can get. When I get paid at the end of the month, I'll be ordering some more slider units to go in to actually fit the minis that I just didn't measure last time. So I'll be ordering those. Have a look at the Kickstarter in the comments. If you think it's something that would benefit you for how you use your minis, definitely sign up to be notified for the Kickstarter. If you like this system, go to the website, buy it. Have a look through, have a look at the different prices, have a look at the different things. They've got monster display units as well that have like a nice clear front, so you can put all the big based monsters in there as well and things like that. The special systems, I think with the new Kickstarter, they're looking at doing stuff that actually ties in with kind of like the Warhammer systems that come out, so like Spearhead units that come out, and they used to be called the Battle something, I can't remember what they were called, but the groups that come out in Games Workshop, they release like the £90 sets, £120 kind of quick start army sets. So they're looking at doing systems that just fit all of that stuff in. So have a look through all of that. There are exciting things in the future. Like I say, they do a lot of stuff with Duncan Rhodes, with Two Thin Coats, the Duncan Rhodes Painting Academy. So they've got big names behind them. And it's definitely worth checking out and seeing if it fits what you need. Thanks for watching. As always, please like, subscribe, share with people. Leave a comment if you've got any other systems that you like. If you've got any questions about this, leave a comment. The channel's starting to grow slowly, which is good. Starting to get more views, more subscribers, things like that. These take a lot of time to put out. So you just responding makes it worthwhile. Knowing that I'm not just kind of sending videos out into a void for nobody to watch actually makes them worthwhile. Otherwise, it's a lot of effort and a lot of time for just no point. So I do really appreciate, I sit there checking, I appreciate every one of you that follows, everyone that subscribes, every one of you that comments or likes or everything like that. I appreciate every one of you. Keep it going, and let's see if we can grow the channel even further together. Thanks very much, and I will see you next time.